Hello, benchwarmers, and welcome to Week 5 matchup Misfits. Some news came out in the NFL. Stephon Gilmore tested positive for COVID, and more Titans tested positive for COVID. So, Titans and Bills might not happen, and the Titans could miss 2 weeks. Don't know what the NFL is going to do, but I still think they're going to finish the season. So, let's get into it. Tampa Bay versus Chicago. It's going to be Tampa Bay. It's Chicago, Big Dick Nick against Tom. The rematch, nobody really cared about. Everybody kind of wants to see that rematch, but Chicago versus Tampa, nobody cares about it all. But defensively, they're actually pretty close, but offensively, it's not. No. I still don't totally buy Tampa's offense, but I do totally buy their defense, and it's going to be not very pretty for the Bears. Panthers versus Falcons. Panthers. Falcons could definitely get their first win, so I'll make them yellow. But I'm really liking what the Panthers are doing right now. I think they're 2-2. That's so much better than I expected. That is way better than I thought they'd be. That's pretty crazy. The defense is doing not much, but even without Christian McCaffrey, that offense is doing pretty good things. Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore with Teddy Bridgewater throwing, and I think Mike Davis is the current running back's name. He's not doing too bad either. Buffalo versus Tennessee, Bills versus Titans. If it happens, I hope it does, I got to go Bills. For one, Titans are going to be missing all the players that are sick with COVID. And two, Josh Allen's been on a tear. So, even if both these teams were fully healthy, it might be kind of close because Tannehill's been doing pretty well. But Josh Allen's putting up MVP numbers. And right now, he's either number 2 or number 3 in the MVP running. He's behind Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. And if those are the two that you're behind, you're doing something right. Raiders versus Chiefs. This one might be closer than expected. I know the Patriots game was closer than expected, especially with Cam Newton not playing. Hoyer obviously going out, and then Stidham going in. Still kept it fairly close, but some bad interceptions on the Patriots' parts. Just let the Chiefs stay in. So I'm going to go Chiefs here, but I guess could keep it close. Broncos versus Patriots. This one is probably going to be Brett Ripon versus Jarrett Stidham. And is it Jarrett or Jarrett? I think it's Jarrett. Jarrett Stidham. And I got to go New England. Stephon Gilmore won't be playing, but that defense can hold Patrick Mahomes and James White and Rex Burkhead pretty well there. I think they can hold Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon, and Brett Ripon. They got some weapons in Denver, though. And they did beat the Jets. I expected them to. God, the Jets are a dumpster fire. But yeah, New England's taking this one. Cardinals versus Jets. Cardinals they started strong and they lost 2 in a row to the Lions last week, or 2 weeks ago, and to the Panthers this past week. They're not going to get embarrassed by the Jets. It's the Jets. Come on. Eagles versus Pittsburgh. Eagles, surprising, kind of, against the Nick Mullins / CJ Beathard-led 49ers. I'm kind of surprised they won, but at the same time I'm not, because, it's still Carson Wentz versus CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins. But the 49ers have a pretty good team, even with how banged up they are. That being said, Pittsburgh, they're going to win. Eagles finally got your first win. unfortunately, you're going up against another really good team without an injured starting quarterback. So James Conner's also been doing pretty well. Pittsburgh's just coming off of a bye, and man, a week 4 bye, that is brutal. But they're coming off of a bye, so that's right. They had the bye because of the Titans. So they had a week off unintentionally, but they're going to play this week, and they're going to beat the Eagles. Rams versus Washington, not even close. Kyle Allen is starting now. Dwayne Haskins moved down to QB3. That was kind of surprising. But I like Kyle Allen, and it makes sense. I thought he was going to be the starter from the start, but it makes sense to start Haskins first. Try to see if his confidence goes up, see how he plays. But I think Kyle Allen will do well. Maybe they could be 8-8 with Kyle Allen. But the Rams are going to win. Rams are doing well. They're doing very well. Did well against the Bills. Or not the Bills. Who played the Rams? I don't even remember. No, the Bills played the Raiders. The Rams... Who did the Rams play? I'll worry about that later. But Rams lost. They barely won a close one. So they did lose against the Bills. So 2 weeks ago. That's what I'm thinking of. 2 weeks ago they played the Bills. Bengals versus Ravens. I know the Bengals have been doing kind of well with Joe Burrow, and the Ravens didn't do so well against the Chiefs, but they did well against Washington, which it's Washington, but it's also it's Cincinnati. Cincinnati definitely has the edge on quarterback against Washington, but everything else is kind of like Washington's got a better defense, and they just tore that up. So Cincinnati are going to lose against Baltimore. The Jaguars versus the Texans. Texans finally firing Bill O'Brien, as I said in my boom and bust. But I'm going to go with the Jags. I think Minshew's tired of losing. He won week 1, lost 3 in a row. He does not want Trevor Lawrence to take his job, and he is going to propel the Jags above the Texans in a battle between him and Watson. And it's going to be a good one. I think this one could be a good one. I'm going to watch it. Dolphins versus 49ers. Dolphins kept in with the Seahawks a lot longer. I think the Dolphins are better than we're giving credit for. They got kind of curb stomped against the Patriots week 1, but since then, they held in against the Bills okay, decently. Then they actually beat the Jags, and then they kept in with the Seahawks for almost all game. I think next year they could be a force if Tua is who everyone thinks he is. Miami could be a contender for the division. Not quite the Super Bowl yet, but it's still going to be San Francisco. I know it's going to be it's probably going to be C.J. Beathard because they benched Mullins for him. And I know they're banged up, but I just don't see the 49ers losing to Miami. Colts versus Browns. This is actually going to be a good game. I'm going to go Browns. I just think they're more well put together right now than the Colts. Colts, Darius Leonard went on IR. I think he tore his ACL. This is a bad year for injury. And the Colts, I guess I can't say they're more well put together, but Cleveland, obviously, with all the high draft picks they've had, they just have more talent right now. And I think they got the right head coach with Stefanski. I think that's showing, being 3-1. They just threw up a dog turd week 1, and since then, watch out. The Browns are here. They are what everyone expected last year. Now that there's no expectations, they're ready. No pressure. And the Colts, their defense, it's going to suffer without Leonard. But their offense still pretty good, but I don't think it'll be enough to keep up with Cleveland. Especially if, Baker, he was playing really well. They don't have Chubb. Chubb is on IR, but they still have Kareem Hunt. We can't forget about Kareem Hunt. He was like the top fantasy running back when he was with the Chiefs, and now he's the number 1 guy again. If you have him in fantasy, start playing him. Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys finally get their second win of the season. Is it second or is it first? Honestly, I don't know. No, it's second because they beat the Falcons. But a lot of people, Cowboys fans and others, are giving Mike McCarthy a lot of crap. And saying, oh, well, it's obvious now that, Aaron Rodgers made you. And you know what? That is true. It's hard for me to disagree with that, but the offense has not been the problem. That defense is atrocious. I mean, look at the points that they're scoring. It's pretty ridiculous. Dak Prescott, he's on pace to have 7,000 yards. The offense is not the problem. It's the defense. But that won't be a problem against the Giants. So, it's going to be Cowboys. Vikings versus Seahawks. Seahawks, not even a question. Russell Wilson, front runner for the MVP currently. Between him, Rodgers, and Allen. And Minnesota doesn't have a single win. They are 0-4. Or no, I think they actually got a win. I think they actually won. Let me just, I think they won this last week. Who did they play? That's going to bug me just a little bit. Who did Minnesota play? Very professional of me to look it up. They played the Texans. They are 3-1. Congratulations, Vikings. You're still losing to Seattle. Yeah, they're 3-1. They beat a bad Texans, and you know what? Thank you, Vikings. I never thought I'd say that. Well, I've said it before because, Brett Favre throwing an interception, drafting Christian Ponder. But thank you, Vikings. You got Bill O'Brien fired. Fine. You were the nail in the coffin. And the Texans owe you a debt. Texans fans owe you a debt. But on to Monday night, the last game of the week. Chargers versus New Orleans. Chargers. Justin Herbert is the real deal. He might be getting a little overshadowed by Joe Burrow right now. But I think if Herbert played in week 1 against the Bengals, that game would not have been nearly as close as it was. Herbert has been on a tear, and he shredded the Bucs defense pretty well. I guess I can't say shredded, but he was doing really well. He does make some rookie mistakes, which is to be expected, but I think he gets his first win. I think Justin Herbert gets his first win and gets the Chargers their second win of the season. They've been losing games really close since he's been the quarterback, and he's just so close to getting there, man. And I think he does that against the Saints. I think this is going to be a close game. Obviously, I have to put the Saints as my second yellow. Not many yellows. I'll erase that. Oh, man, didn't want to erase all of it. There we go. So, that is my prediction for Matchup Misfits Week 5 edition. And let me know how you did last week. And let me know what your picks are this week. I'll see you next week.